There are many intriguing ancient ruins spread over the globe, ranging from decaying towns to temples that have endured the test of time. A great deal of these prehistoric societies were highly inventive and progressive. Just see their amazing engineering achievements and careful urban design, some of which we still don't fully comprehend. Even if there's a great deal we can learn from these ancient people, what we don't know about them may be even more fascinating. Here are the best 12 ancient ruins that tell stories of bygone civilizations. Number 12, Acropolis, Greece. The Parthenon, atop the Acropolis, dominates the city of Athens and is visible from every location in the city. The Acropolis, which Pericles first constructed and called home in the 5th century, gradually changed into a temple city. The Elgin marbles are a collection of ancient Greek sculptures that were taken from the Parthenon in the 19th century by Thomas Bruce, 7th Earl of Elgin, the British minister to the Ottoman Empire from 1799 to 1803, which is largely why the Acropolis Museum was constructed. Bronze and Pentelic marble were used to create these historic buildings, some even had gold plating. Scaffolding may still be in place, but restorations are still going on. The Acropolis Museum is definitely worth a visit while you're here because many of the original items have been moved there. It is recommended to visit the Parthenon early in the morning or late at night because it is exposed to the intense sun. It is also the least congested at this time. When is the Athens Acropolis admission free? On these days, admission is free for all guests. Melina Mercouri's Memory Day is March 6th. International Monument Day is April 18th. Number 11, Ayutthaya, Thailand. Ayutthaya is a historical city that was first established as a Khmer military and commercial center in 1350. This bustling trade port quickly rose to prominence as Thailand's historic capital. Until Burmese invaders set it on fire, it retained this distinction for 4 centuries. The great bulk of the city's temples and artifacts were destroyed since so many of them were made of wood. Approximately 50 stone temples and antiquities have survived the fire and are still visible today. Discovering Ayutthaya's blend of Siamese, Sri Lankan, and Khmer architecture has grown in popularity as a day excursion from Bangkok since renovations began in the 1970s. If you are interested in the history of contemporary Thailand, you should go to Ayutthaya, especially if you have been to Sukhothai, the previous capital of Thailand, or if you have visited Bangkok's Thonburi and Ratanakosin districts. As soon as you arrive in Ayutthaya, you'll need to plan your transportation. Basically, you may hire a tuk-tuk and a driver to get around, or you can rent a bicycle and explore on your own. There are a number of tuk-tuks waiting for you at the train station if you choose to take them that way. Number 10, Borobudur, Indonesia. The world's biggest Buddhist temple, Borobudur in Indonesia, is made of an astounding 2 million slabs of volcanic stone. It dates to the 9th century and was lost to ruin before being found again in the 1800s. It has since been brought back to its previous splendor and is especially well-liked in the morning. 3 circular platforms sit above 6 square platforms that make up the Borobudur monument. From the base of the pyramid, an enlightenment route ascends through the world of forms, the realm of formlessness, and the 3 levels of Buddhist cosmology. It is adorned with 500 Buddha sculptures and more than 2,000 reliefs, each of which summarizes a different Buddhist doctrine. A total surface area of 2,500 square meters is covered with exquisite low-relief decorations on the walls and balustrades. There are 72 openwork stupas with Buddha statues surrounding the circular platforms. UNESCO assisted with the monument's restoration in the 1970s. The Indonesian government increased the cost of foreign visitors' admission to Borobudur Temple in May 2023. Foreign visitors must pay 24 Indonesian rupiah for site access and 32 Indonesian rupiah for a ticket to climb the temple. Number 9. Colosseum, Italy. The Colosseum, one of the most famous Roman remains, was formerly a gladiatorial arena. The 50,000-seat amphitheater was built around 80 AD and hosted a variety of events. These comprised gladiator bouts with bloodthirsty participants who would fight to the death as well as animal fights. Even by modern standards, the Colosseum's architecture is remarkable. Ionic, Doric, and Corinthian columns are atop 3 tiers of archways that comprise the outside walls. During its peak, marble and travertine statues adorn them. There formerly was a massive awning supporting the upper level, shielding onlookers from the weather. You can now explore the Colosseum on your own or combine it with a trip to Palatine Hill and the adjacent Roman Forum. Ancient Romans valued the Colosseum greatly because it represented their might and provided them with amusement on a regular basis. It is significant to us now because it gives us a glimpse into ancient Roman culture and architecture. Although you are free to wander about the Colosseum at your leisure, a guided tour is the most enjoyable way to see it. Number 8. Ephesus, Turkey. The ancient city of Ephesus lies in western Turkey, but its ruins are among the most spectacular Greek and Roman sites on Earth. Enormous as the Temple of Artemis originally stood there, it dates back more than 2,000 years. However, the level of immersion these ruins offer is what really sets them apart. You are able to walk through, touch, and step on every component of the city, which sets it apart from many other protected archaeological sites. Highlights include Hadrian's Temple, the Prytaneum, the Library of Celsus, the Bath of Varius, and a number of historic public restrooms. The Great Theatre of Ephesus, the biggest outdoor theater in antiquity, has 25,000 seats and is located there as well. It takes 9 hours by bus to get to Ephesus, which is situated 450 kilometers south of Istanbul. We suggest driving from Izmir Airport to Ephesus after taking a plane from Istanbul to Izmir. The drive to Ephesus from the Izmir Airport takes 45 minutes. Alternatively, you could travel from Istanbul via bus. The €40 entrance charge to Ephesus includes admission to the recently opened Ephesus Experience Museum. Number 7. Bygone, Myanmar. Myanmar's ancient city of Bygone is a fascinating temple town. At its height, it was home to over 10,000 temples, monasteries, shrines, pagodas, and stupas. It was formerly the capital of a strong kingdom that flourished in the 11th and 13th centuries. Since then, negligence, natural disasters, and Mongol invasions have caused these hallowed places to crumble. There are only 2,000 temple ruins left, strewn across the skyline. Although you may tour the Bygone Archaeological Zone on foot, aerial photography offers the greatest perspective of the overwhelming number of temples. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, Bygone saw 1.08 million visits in 2022, and from January to December 25, 2023, 2.32 million domestic and international tourists traveled via the ancient cultural zone. The amount of tourists has doubled over the previous year. Built during the era of King Narathu 1167 to 1170, the Damayan, as it is popularly known, is the largest of all the temples in Bygone. This greatest temple was presumably constructed by Narathu as a penance for his transgressions. Narathu ascended to the throne by assassinating both his elder brother and father Alangsathu. Number 6. Teotihuacan, Mexico. One of the most well-known Aztec archaeological sites is Teotihuacan, which is situated outside of present-day Mexico City. But it wasn't constructed by the Aztecs. Though there are a lot of possibilities, nobody actually knows for sure. When the Aztecs discovered the abandoned city, they did, however, give it a name and claim it as their own. It was once the biggest metropolis in the Western Hemisphere, with many residential compounds and pyramids, some of which were larger than the Giza pyramids. The Temple of the Sun and the Temple of the Moon, its two recognizable pyramids, are now the main attractions. Explore the Citadel and the Temple of the Feathered Serpent while taking a leisurely stroll down the Avenue of the Dead. Clamber up the 248 uneven steps of the pyramid, which must have been a spectacular sight at sunset, as the pyramid's plaster was painted bright red during Teotihuacan's height. The 5 entry gates are where tickets are sold. You can come and go on the same day with your ticket. Number 5. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China, which stretches across 15 Chinese provinces, principalities, and autonomous territories, is the world's longest man-made structure. It was constructed as a barrier against invaders throughout the course of 6 Chinese dynasties and is composed of numerous isolated sections of walls and moats. Some sections of the wall, which is now well over 2,000 years old, are in ruins. It's interesting to note that traversing the whole length of the Great Wall of China would take about 18 months for anybody who wished to attempt it. In addition to its lengthy history, the Great Wall's enormous construction scale and its distinctive architectural design all contribute to its reputation as one of the world's 7 construction wonders. The wall was constructed by a vast army of laborers made up of locals, inmates, and soldiers. Every year, more than 10 million visitors go to see the Great Wall of China. Over 300 heads of state and VIPs from around the world have visited the most well-known portion of the Great Wall, Bygone, with the Soviets being the first to do so. However, the restored portion of the wall is also the busiest. Number 4. Petra, Jordan. Thousands of years ago, nomadic people chiseled a settlement called the Rose City of Petra out of the pink sandstone cliffs. It's hard to imagine the city, which is in Jordan and nestled between the Red and Dead Seas, was once home to verdant gardens, opulent homes, and lively marketplaces. Rather, you can discover deserted caverns, temples, and tombs concealed within the city walls by taking a stroll, riding a camel, or riding a donkey through the ruins of Petra. One of the most stunning sights in the ancient city is the 2-story treasury cut out of the rock face. Just the front is worth seeing, but the interior, with its Indiana Jonesy royal tomb, is quite interesting. Up to 95% of the historic city of Petra is still unexplored today. Arab legend holds that Petra is the place where Moses' brother Harun, Aaron, is buried at Mount Hor, also known as Jabal Haran or Mount Aaron, and the place where Musa struck a rock with his staff to cause water to flow. Number 3. Machu Picchu, Peru. One of the most well-known towns of the former Incan Empire is Machu Picchu, a major check off the travel bucket list. This ancient stronghold is concealed amid Peru's mountains. In fact, it was so cleverly disguised that the Spanish invaders who arrived in the 1500s never found it. It wasn't until 1911, and even then, accidentally, that an explorer by the name of Bygone discovered them. The truth is that he was tracking down Vilcabamba, another city. A marvel of modern engineering, it is estimated that 60% of the building was subterranean, mostly for drainage and fortification. These fortified ruins are only accessible by train or foot these days. A behind-the-scenes peek into the lost city of the Incas can be had by visiting the Machu Picchu Secret Museum. Number 2. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Is derived from the Sanskrit term Nagara, which signifies city. It was a bustling ancient metropolis that served as the capital of the Khmer Empire from the 9th to the 15th centuries. The Hindu Angkor Wat Temple, which is regarded as the world's greatest religious temple, is the reason that Angkor is most well known today. It is renowned for being visited at dawn when the temples are illuminated in an enchanting way. But beyond Angkor Wat, the Angkor Archaeological Park is home to a plethora of other amazing sites. There are more than 1,000 temples dispersed across the farmlands, rice paddies, and forests. Highlights include the enigmatic and jungle-covered Bang Maelia Temple, which dates back to the 12th century and is home to an early library and some well-preserved carvings, as well as the Bayon Temple, which marks the location of the ancient city of Angkor Thom. Generally speaking, guests to Angkor Wat and all other temples and places of worship in Cambodia should keep in mind not to touch, climb on, or remove any stones from the temples. Number 1. Pyramids of Giza, Egypt. The Pyramids of Giza in Cairo are one of the world's most intriguing ancient structures and are incredibly fascinating. There's a lot of conjecture regarding the construction of these massive tombs, which were constructed during the 4th dynasty in ancient Egypt as tombs for the pharaohs. They're just another amazing example of the exquisite precision and detail of ancient Egyptian engineering. Many people actually think that angels or maybe aliens built them. Over time, several tomb robbers were drawn to these chambers that served as burial sites and were brimming with valuables that the pharaoh may utilize in the afterlife. There are plenty of other lesser-known tombs, temple ruins, and pyramids worth seeing in the nearby desert plateau for those who want to avoid the worst of the crowds. The greatest and most advised way to see the pyramids is to take a tour. This gives you the opportunity to see not just the famous world wonder but also other noteworthy sites like Dashur, Saqqara, and the Egyptian Museum. It's better to take a tour to discover these intriguing locations.